What's up guys, Readiness Rations here with you again. We're going to be taking a look at a commercial survival ration today. This is the Shield Maiden from Valhalla Survival. Valhalla Survival is a sister company to Minotaur Trading Company and MRE Nation, who are well known for commercially produced civilian ration options. This is a relatively new product, so I'm pretty excited to see what they are including with it. Before we take it over to the desk though, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you like seeing these ration reviews, both military and civilian, and to subscribe to the channel to catch all of my future ration review content. Now let's dive in and see what's included in the Valhalla Survival Shield Maiden. First thing I noticed is this is a rather large size box. I think you'd have a hard time packing this around the way that it is. However, you could probably stow it in a vehicle fairly easily. And of course, you can always just take all the contents out and stick those in your bags or whatever. The box itself does look really cool though. We have a Nordic looking Shield Maiden there. So if you're into that Viking kind of thing, it has that in spades. It's looking like it's a mix of commercially available items produced by Minotaur Trading Company, and maybe a military item or two. On top there, we do have a trail mix recovery coming in at 2.2 ounces, packaged on the 99th day of 2019, and that is a military MRE item. A whopping 310 calories on that. A fragrance-free Viking wipe with vitamin E and aloe. This is something I've never seen in a ration before. A mini bottle of Cholula. Now, of course, we have seen plenty of the miniature Tabasco bottles in US MREs from years past, but this is a substantial 0.75 ounce bottle of Cholula with wooden cap included. Very neat. A US MRE spoon, a Minotaur Trading Company vanilla pudding, 130 calories, a pack of military MRE matches, a little envelope here. Every MRE and or ration packed by Valhalla Survival will include a special survival bonus item. While these items are typically small, they make great additions to any EDC, get home bag, or personal survival kit. Let's see what they included in this. Check that out. We have a can opener. It's a Shelby Company P51, I think that is, the larger of the US can openers. Cool little add-in item, even though there doesn't appear to be any cans in this ration. This is the main for the ration pack, Valhalla Survival chicken and rice. This is a freeze-dried product. Looks like that is 260 calories for the pouch with 7 grams of protein. There's also a very nicely packaged raspberry blueberry drink mix with electrolytes, makes 12 ounces. We have a cracker kit packaged on February 1st, 2021, and a meal enhancement pack, also packed February 2021. The cracker kit is literally loaded with crackers. It looks like 4 packages of Nabisco Premium Gold crackers, 3 packs of Lance saltines, and 2 packs of original Nabisco grams. And in the meal enhancement pack, we have a label for some water purification tablets, and it looks like 2 water purification tabs to go along with that, 2 sugar bags, a salt and a pepper, 2 fresh naps, 2 non-dairy coffee creamers, 2 Nescafe Taster Choice House Blend coffees, a Stash Wild Raspberry Hibiscus tea, a Butter Buds Natural Butter Flavored Granules, 2 3/4 ounce Smucker's Peanut Butters, another salt and pepper pack, 2 Smucker's Red Raspberry Jams, a couple of little thank you candies, and I actually like these as an inclusion, a beef bouillon cube and a chicken bouillon cube. Those will add good flavor to anything you want to put them in. That's looking like a lot of food for a single meal. I'm curious to see how everything tastes, so let's get it plated up. I can certainly say it is a large meal with an extensive variety of items, although it is sort of an odd mix of more long-term shelf-stable foods and sort of off-the-shelf consumer products. Let's take a look at this chicken and rice first. Easy pull tear notch on that. Zip top. There was a little do not eat desiccant pack in there, which we are certainly not going to eat. And it's looking like a pretty standard freeze-dried rice meal. We have some bits of chicken in there, lots of rice, some celery, corn, carrot. I'm a big fan of freeze-dried vegetables. There's a lot of seasoning going on. There's a sort of a spicy dust all throughout this. I'll try just a little bit dry. That's not as salty as I thought it would be. Eating like this is nice and crisp and crunchy. Has a subtle chicken-based flavor. Just by tasting that, I'm gonna say it's a little bit bland, but not bad. I think we can defeat that blandness by preemptively adding a chicken bouillon cube to that. That'll give us even deeper chicken flavor and add some salt to the mix. I'll crumble that up a little bit so it dissolves easier. The instructions on this are to add 6 ounces of boiling water and let stand for 10 minutes. Doesn't seem like a lot of water for a main entree, but we'll go with it. So we'll add our 6 ounces of boiling water, and that seemed to be soaked up pretty much instantly. That's smelling pretty decent now that the water's hit it. We'll seal that up and give it its 10 minutes. There are ample drinks in this ration. Start with the coffee first. Nescafe Taster's Choice in the glass. That is a freeze-dried coffee. I'll go in with a full sugar bag and a non-dairy creamer. To that, I'm gonna add roughly 6 ounces of water. Everything dissolved quite nicely. And I suppose we'll do the tea as well. Can't say I've ever had a wild raspberry hibiscus tea before. That smells super fruity. Very pleasant, fresh, fruity smell. And that's already turning the water a nice purple. Give that time to steep. And we'll make our way on to the cold drink. So the raspberry blueberry drink mix with electrolytes. It says it makes 12 to 14 ounces. The powder for the mix is gonna be hard to see because it's down in this pouch, but it is blue and it's looking a little bit clumped. That's close enough to 12. Like an MRE, we'll seal it up, fold it over, and give it a vigorous shaking. The Ziplock's a little leaky, but I'm doing my best not to make a mess. Hopefully that was a thorough enough shaking. This pouch has a very good gusset on the bottom, so you would have no issues whatsoever using this as your vessel to drink out of. To get a better view of it though, we're gonna pour it into a glass. And it looks like basically all the powder dissolved. That's pretty surprising. Vibrant blue color, that's for sure. The main still needs a little bit of time, so let's take a look at our one military item included, the Trail Mix Recovery. I do not eat in there. A lot of goodies in that pouch. We have peanuts, pretzel balls, almonds, cashew halves, and it appears to all be salted. Try one of those pretzel balls first. Crisp, crunchy, salty. Not sure how pretzels are supposed to aid in recovery, but they taste good at least. Now we'll get some of the nuts. A few peanuts, a couple cashews, and one of the almonds. We'll see if they've maintained freshness. The salt level on this is on point, perfect. The peanuts taste toasted. Now I said there were cashew halves. There's actually some large sized cashews in there as well. I think I'll take that one out by itself. Perfectly fresh. Man, I love cashews. Although I am slightly allergic to them. This recovery mix is a win in my book. Savory, crunchy, really a fantastic snack item. Can't go wrong with that. Let's go in for a sip of the coffee while it's still hot. Well, for one thing, it's sweet. That Taster's Choice is very mild. It's a very light cup. It's not at all bitter, but it is very watery even with the creamer added. I've had much worse, but I've had much better as well. They do give you 2 of them though. So if you wanted a nice strong cup, you could double up your coffee packs, and I'm sure that's what you would have. Must have been fairly decent because I got that one killed off basically. We're still working on our 10-minute timer for the main, so I guess that gives us an opportunity to check out how well these crackers held up. Those packages said that they were packed in February 2021. Well, we're at the very end of May 2022 right now, so these are more than a year old at this point. These premium golds seem to still be nice and crunchy. Let's see how they taste. Not exactly as it should be. They're still good. Premium golds are one of the best crackers there are, in my opinion. These are showing their age though. Another 6 months, these will be stale. As of right now, they're still pretty good. In such poor packaging, I'm surprised they've held up as well as they have over a year's time. And we'll give the saltines a try as well. They're sort of crumbled in there. Check that snap. Nice and crispy. See how they taste? Same sort of story. Borderline stale for sure. Even though they broke nice and crisp, they don't have a crisp feeling in the mouth. They're almost chewy, but the flavors haven't really degraded. They still taste okay. The texture's off, so these are definitely on their way to being old, but still fine at this point. And the last crackers to try are our graham crackers. They smell good. Now that snapped just the way I think a graham cracker should. These are perfect. 100%, as fresh as can be. Delicious graham crackers. Crisp and crunchy, sweet, has a sort of whole grain mouthfeel to it. Really, really tasty. Can't say I've ever seen a peanut butter package like this in a ration before. Seems like something you'd get on your table at Waffle House. Nice and creamy and smooth. We'll try some of that on the spoon. Peanut butter basically stays good forever, and that's still 100%. I'll try a little of that on a graham cracker. Perfect combo, although a little bit mouth dry. It's sweet, super creamy, and smooth. Very much like a dessert peanut butter. We'll take a look at the raspberry jam also. There are little bits of seeds in there. Has a thick gelled consistency to it. The seeds have just the slightest bit of crunch. It has a floral, raspberry flavor. It's not too overly pronounced. It's good jam. It's not amazing jam. Let's see how it is on the cracker. The sweetness really complements the salty. Again, you get 2 of those. They go very quick, but that's a nice add-on to the ration, along with 2 peanut butters. Peanut butter, cracker, and jam is always a ration classic. I think we're finally ready for our main. We've given it 10 minutes plus a little bit, and hopefully we're rehydrated here. Sort of condensed into a block of chicken and rice. Let's plop that out onto the tray here. And there it is, it all just plopped out in one go. Let's smoosh this out a little bit. It absorbed every last little drop of water that we put in it. I definitely think it could have handled another ounce or 2 because there's a couple little bits here that are still looking pretty dry, but it smells nice and chickeny. I think that chicken cube that we added really pumped up that chicken flavor aroma. So we have our flecks of vegetable, celery, carrot, little chunks of chicken. There's not very much chicken in this at all. Freeze-dried chicken is a very expensive item for manufacturers to include in rations. And I know that in order to keep the price of this ration down overall, they had to skimp on the amount of chicken that you get. There's also just a little bit of red bell pepper in here. Man, it is so thick and starchy at this point. Make sure we get a piece of chicken in that bite. Big bite with basically everything. I think that chicken cube helped it out on the sodium front. It has a nice saltiness that's not too overpowering. The flavors are mild, but good. The rice is mostly rehydrated. There's a little crunchy piece here and there. It tastes like a very basic Southern style chicken and rice, which is a flavor that I like. The carrot in there is super sweet. I just got a nice, good piece of that by itself. And I really enjoyed that. And then our freeze-dried chicken looks like it's partially processed before freeze-drying. It's a little bit spongy, but pretty flavorful. I think this could use pepper pack, probably both of them to be honest. Yeah, it could use about 5 times that much black pepper. The main flavor add for this ration is gonna be this bottle of Cholula though. Chicken and hot sauce go together like peas and carrots. And so let's load this thing up with some of our Cholula. That'll make basically anything taste good. Now that's where it's at. Just that little bit of heat from the Cholula with the really nice flavor that it adds of chilies and vinegar and a little bit of extra salt. That wakes the whole thing up. The portion size was nothing crazy. I'm very easily devouring this main, but there's so many other items included in this ration that I don't think there's any way you're gonna be left hungry at the end of it. A little bit more Cholula on these last couple bites, and I think I'm gonna finish this off right now. I'm ready for a sip of our raspberry blueberry drink mix. It's super clear at this point. Man, that is sweet. A little bit tart. Tastes similar to a blue Powerade. Has that same sort of electrolyte saltiness. There are far worse things you could be drinking. I like that a good bit. You can't discern any actual fruit flavor. It just tastes like blue, but blue is not a bad flavor in my opinion. And that did wonders to wash that rice down. Do a couple pretzel balls and some peanut butter, because that just seems like the right thing to do. And I think our tea has had all the time in the world to steep. It is very dark at this point. It's very tart from the hibiscus. This doesn't need any sugar. It's sweet enough on its own. That is a lovely cup of tea. Slightly floral. I love the sourness and natural sweetness that it has. And if you needed to dye something red, it would probably do the job. I completely forgot to try the butter buds on the chicken and rice. That's a shame. I've never had these before, so I kind of need to taste them by themselves, I guess. This is basically like a butter powder. See if that tastes like butter. That's exactly what it tastes like. That would have probably been really good on the rice. Tastes very similar to popcorn butter. I have to imagine that popcorn butter is probably something very similar to this. Not bad at all. Another neat little addition to the meal here. The last real food item to check out is this vanilla pudding. Directions on this say add 4 ounces of cold water to the pouch, stir and eat. The blast of smell that just hit me in the nose is unmistakably vanilla or vanillin, artificial vanilla flavoring. Then there's probably about 4 ounces left in this bottle. This is looking like it's gonna make quite a large portion. Never used instant pudding mix before. It's not the easiest thing in the world to stir up. There's some big chunks floating around in there, but things are definitely thickening up. You could probably keep stirring that forever and get even better results, but I'm about ready to eat, so let's pour it out onto the tray here. Pretty thick consistency, and it is a large portion. Look at that, it is filling up the whole compartment in the tray. Those chunks are very evident in the spoonful. Let's see how it tastes though. It's very sweet. It's not offensively vanilla the way that I thought it would be just from smelling it. It thickened up, very nice. Since I use cold water, it's a nice cool treat. It's a great base for adding things too. You could throw a couple graham crackers in there if you wanted to. You could do a little scooping action like that. The crispness of the graham cracker matches really well with the smooth creaminess of the pudding. You can even get a little scoop of peanut butter should you wish. Put a little bit of pudding on top of that and have a peanut butter vanilla pudding. Oh man, now that is something special. That was so good. I think I'm gonna take some of this recovery trail mix, give that a little mix in, and now we got a little bit of crunchy, salty in there. Now that is pretty ideal. Great texture contrast, salt and sweet always go well together. And the portion size for this pudding is so huge that you could literally try it with everything and still have some left over. That is a fantastic ration dessert item, and it would be super welcome in a survival situation. That's for sure. Before we wrap it up, I want to try out these Viking wipes. That appears to be a wet nap on steroids, large size, strong cloth, well, strong-ish. It's not as wet as I thought it would be, but it is moist, and it smells basically like a baby wipe. It's large enough that you can clean a decent sized area with it. And if that wasn't quite enough for you, there were those 2 fresh naps as well. So I don't think cleanliness is going to be an issue. That was the review, guys. Valhalla Survival, Shield Maiden, commercial, civilian, survival ration. And although it is kind of pieced together with a mix of types of items, it definitely gives you a lot of options in the way that you want to put your own meal together. And is overall satisfactory in my book. I'm feeling quite full, and I even have leftovers. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And to see more videos like this in the future, subscribe to the channel. If you know someone else that might be interested in this kind of content, please be sure to share the video because that is the best way to help me grow the channel. And I will catch you guys in the next video. See you then. Peace.